What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video about the comic book series, the Flash Rebirth series that came out this year. So basically DC have basically rebooted every single comic book into a Rebirth version. So there's a Flash Rebirth, Teen Titans Rebirth, Batman Rebirth, just rebooted the whole comic book universe. I think in order to bring new fans and to kind of revive it and give it a fresh outlook. So the premise is, I think Dr. Midnight has taken 10 years memory away, which I think is basically the new 52. So they're trying to erase it without erasing it. So Wally West from the new 52 is trying to find out how he lost 10 years of his life. And obviously we're introduced to a new villain that is called Godspeed, that some people got confused with last week's episode of The Flash Savitar, because he said he's the god of speed. But I think just what's going on there is they're just trying to make it like easier for viewers who don't read the comic books. So what happens is Barry Allen's partner in the CSI within the comic book gets hit by lightning and essentially turns into a speedster, and also multiple amounts of people were hit by this lightning strike, which essentially creates an army of speedsters. So obviously Barry has to help contain and train them all, as he doesn't want a bunch of speedsters running around not being trained. He doesn't essentially want loads of villains like Zoom, Reverse Flash, and etc. So far we're up to episode 9. It's a really strong story. If you haven't already, please check out DC Rebirth Comics, which is linked to Amazon. I think if you pay for it on the iPhone, it comes out of your Apple Pay account. So essentially he trains up his best friend Argos, who later becomes Godspeed, which is a massive twist that everyone pretty much seen coming. So the reasoning behind why he became Godspeed is the Flash wouldn't help him get some revenge for the death of his brother. So he became Godspeed. He realized that he could absorb other speeds' powers because he felt the speed force. But when in doing so, he killed these people when he absorbed the speed force from them. He didn't actually want to kill the people. He just wanted their powers. So he did this because he thought someone killed he was trying to find out who killed his brother. He thought it was Billy Parks, as all the evidence suggested it was Billy Parks. But we later found out this was not true. So Argos killed the wrong person. And later on, Godspeed beats up his best friend and he says it's for his own good. Godspeed tries to go to Iron Heights to take out Professor Zoom, as he knows that Barry Allen would never do that. And Barry's like, revenge is never the key. You'll have to live with it for your rest of your life. So he has to put Godspeed down temporarily with the help of Wally West from the new Rebirth, not the new 52 one, which we're later introduced to. So at some point we see both Wally Wests on screen at the same time, which is pretty awesome. Obviously the new 52 Wally West is in the Teen Titans comics, and he went away to see who had stole the 10 years. They thought it was the BLACKHOLE, but we later find out from Argos that the person who they thought was in control of BLACKHOLE was just a small pawn in a massive picture, if you get what I mean. Such a cool storyline. So they put Godspeed away in Iron Heights so he can't hurt anyone, but clearly I think he will be getting out at some point. I'm not going to ruin the storyline too much, as I think you should read it. It's a cool story. So later on we're introduced to Iris's nephew, Wally West. Obviously in the Flash TV show, Wally West is Iris's brother, but in the comics it's slightly different. and Iris West and Barry Allen aren't exactly a couple at the moment. So later on in the comics, in episode 9, sick artwork we have for it, we see Wally West 52, the new Kid Flash, and Barry Allen as 3 speedsters together, which is awesome. Later on, Wally West confesses that he is Kid Flash, and he said that he didn't want to tell Iris, seeing as what happened to Daniel West, obviously, who turned into the Reverse Flash, as he thought that Iris would take it badly. And what's interesting is the Speed Force kind of did something to Barry Allen, where he massively blurted out that Daniel West was actually his dad and not his uncle, which was quite interesting. I don't know how true that is, as I haven't read every single Flash book. So if you know, let me know down below. This is just a short overview of who's Godspeed is and what he can do. And obviously Godspeed can be in 2 places at once, which is awesome. We're not on about time remnants here. He can physically be in 2 different places at once. And later on in the comics, Argus explains that because Flash wouldn't help him, he had to do it by himself. He says the Flash is too good for his own kind, so he wants to help the Flash by killing Professor Zoom, as he knows he will never do it. So I can't wait to read some more comics from the Rebirth series. As so far, the Flash Rebirth is awesome. So obviously, as we know at the start of the comic, Wally West was stuck in the Speed Force and Barry helped him get out, or at least Barry thought he helped him get out. So right at the end of episode 9, Wally West says to Barry that he came back to tell him something, he's found something. And what do we get? We get Jay Garrick's helmet. If you watch the TV series, you will know what I'm on about. So Jay Garrick has not been seen in the comics this far in this Flash Rebirth series, which is pretty cool. So Jay Garrick could be appearing any episode now, which is awesome. But it's going to be pretty cool to see who's actually behind everything. I think it's Dr. Midnight. Let me know down below if I'm saying it wrong. I know it's something like that. I can't quite remember. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. So Godspeed thought that Billy Parks killed his brother. He didn't. So Barry Allen tells him that he won't stop until he finds out who killed his brother. So such a cool storyline. So like I said before, if you haven't already, check out the DC Flash Rebirth series. It's pretty awesome. I'm reading this one and Green Arrow, and I may start reading Deathstroke maybe. Anyway, let me know down below which ones you are reading, what you like about Godspeed, and do you think Godspeed would be an awesome person to bring into the Flash season 4 or 5? Later on down the line, I think Godspeed would be awesome. It was also an interesting concept to have all these other speedsters running around who eventually lost their speed, as to take out Godspeed, Barry had to absorb their power, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure that is what happened. Such cool artwork. I love the artwork in this comic book series. It's awesome. Anyway, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll be doing a few more videos like this over the next couple of months. So I'll catch you in another one, guys. Peace.